Okay, this is another training video on the inventory fees panel, and what we're going to talk about is inventory. And inventory is comprised of these three components, which are your zones, where your items are stored, taking account, and then historical inventories that you've taken in the past. And using the historical invoices from the past, you can do a comparison between a beginning and an ending to get a variance. So I'll go through these quickly. The zones have already been created for you, but to edit those, you would just go into zones. And the zones that have been created and the items assigned are listed here. And so you can scroll down through those and see them. And you notice the number out to the right in parentheses. That's the number of specific items that are listed in that zone. So you can pick any one of those to edit it. And then you can see those zones here on this page. So you've got the liquor closet loaded, and you can see the items. And they will be in alphabetical order by the description. You could delete it if you wanted to. You can delete the entire zone, or you could click Add Items. Let's just pretend we wanted to add an item. If we click this button, we will get a page populated that has all of the items that you've purchased, items by vendor, items manually entered off manual invoices, yield recipes, and batch recipes. Additionally, you'll see them broken down here by the vendor, so you could select that vendor if you knew you'd entered it from Glazers, so you could just select them, and you notice the list on the right repopulated. And you can scroll through and find that item and just click it, and it's going to add it alphabetically sequenced into that zone that you're working on. And so that's how you edit a zone. We'll go back and we'll look at a count. And so here's count. This is designed, Inalyze is a website, so it's designed that you could do this count live on a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop. And the way you think about the count is, this is your clipboard right here. There's no items on the clipboard yet. You haven't added a page. We want to add items, so we click the Add button. And it's going to pull up everything that you're buying. So you got the general sort here of all items or by vendor and so on and so forth, like you saw in the zone editing. An additional menu you have now are the zones that are created for you. And so you could pick one of those zones. So let's just say we're going to do the salad bar, salad line. So I click on it, and you can see those items populated. Navigate over off of this pop-up. So you'll come over here to the right and just scroll down, and you have load zone. So we click that, and that zone is loaded onto your counting location. So like I said, think of it as a clipboard. They're now on the clipboard ready to be counted, and they are alphabetically sequenced to make them easier to find. And so at this point, you can just start navigating through and counting. So if you came in honey mustard as the item you're counting, you tap it or click it, and it pops it up. So you can count whole cases or packs. So they come 4 1 gallon, as you see right there. So you can count a case of 4, or if you just had 2 jars, 2 bottles, you can count that right here. And you'll see when you punch in a number, it automatically calculates it and gives you the fractional case equivalent. So if you had a case in 2 gallons, you'd enter it like that. Or if you wanted to, you could enter it as 1.5. That's totally up to however it's comfortable for you to count it. And that is how you enter a count. And I'm going to just count a couple of random items just so you can see how we submit it. So we got a case of that, and we've got 3 packages of cheese, and we've got 2 of those. So I'm done, and I'm ready to submit. Now, I don't recommend that you submit 0 counts. The system would let you do that because you're in charge. If you want to remove anything, we do it right here. So we come over, we're ready to submit, and I want to get rid of those items that have a 0, so there's your option. Remove all 0 items. So if I click that, it's going to verify that you want to do that, and you say yes, and they're all gone. And so you submit, and it gives you 2 options. As a new count, or you can add it to an existing count. For the purposes of what we're doing here, we're going to do it as a new count, and we're going to name it, let's just say October, and this was salad line. And I'm going to put my name on there so that I know I'm the one that did it, just in the event there's more than one person counting. And I hit submit, and you should always get this dialog telling you that you successfully submitted that count. And you say OK. And the system by default will take you to a review of that count, breaking down the items here in this cute little pie chart. And it tells you your most valuable item and what it was and where it was found. And it has a summary here of your item. This is where you would review it to ensure that you made no errors. So it shows the zone you were counting, what category that is in the Cisco breakdown, and the detail of the item. If you saw it, this is where you would look for an error, like for instance, that was supposed to be one case and maybe you put 10, then you know you'd have to make an adjustment. And I'll show you how to do that later. So we want to get out of there, so let's click the back button on history. So this is showing all those historical counts. So these are all counts that have really been done by staff members. And you can see the one that I did. Now I want to show you something else. So we're going to pretend we only counted 3 items there, right? We're going to pretend that we got interrupted and we had to step away. So now we're coming back to finish that count. We're going to do exactly what we did before. I'm going to go to count, and I'm going to add a zone. And we did salad line, right? And I'm going to load that zone. Now we know we already counted those 3, so we don't need to count those again, right? And we go on counting the other stuff that we needed to count before we got interrupted. And I'm just going to count a couple, 2 or 3, and submit those to show you the other option you have. Once again, I want to remove 0 items. And so it did. And I say submit. But this time, I don't want to enter a new count. I want to add it to that salad bar line zone count that I've already submitted. So I'm going to say that right here. And it shows me all the inventories. And there's that inventory, right? So we say add it to that one. Scroll down and say submit. And we were successful. And it's going to go back to that summary. And lo and behold, now we have all 6 items there. And same summary. The categories, if you cared, are broken down by how they're coming from Cisco. So it's telling you that. So if there were 15 of them, they'd all be here. And so we got everything we want. Once again, we verify that our count is accurate. We didn't make any mistakes. And if we go back, you'll notice there's still only the 1 count that I had entered. Now I'm going to show you how you can do it that way, but you don't have to. We're going to do the exact same type of thing. And I'm going to load a count for that salad line zone. And I'm just going to count a few items. Doesn't matter what they are. I had 3 cases of that, and I had 1 case of that, and I had 3 splits of that. And once again, remove my 0 items. And I go to submit, and I'm going to go ahead and say new count. And I forgot that I did that other one. So this is salad line, October salad line, John, and I submit it. And it says okay. And we go to summary, and we're only going to see those 3 items, right? Because we submitted it as a new inventory. And then we come back out here and we notice, oh, geez, I did that twice. No problem. I'm just going to combine them. So the way I do that is I want to combine this one that I just sent into that existing one. So I open the one I want to send to the other one, and I go to edit. And I say, oh, I got to pick the one. I want to combine it into that one. And so I say save. And it says, yeah, you were successful. And now it reloads, and you notice I have 9 items. And my summary's there, and I've got my categories, and you can see all the different items. And if I were to navigate back to history, you will see that there's now just the 1. And I put them all together. And that is how you do inventories and counts. I will